Hi there. Welcome to Keeping Up with Conspicuous. My name's Alex. I've been on a few of these podcasts before, and I'd like to introduce Sam, who I've worked with for many years, and is the partner and founder of OpsTerra. And in this episode today, we're going to talk a little about Sam's journey. We're going to talk about OpsTerra. We're going to talk about supply chain. We're going to talk about all sorts. So I'll ask a few questions, and then we'll kind of, if we get any comments, obviously let us know, and we'll make sure we have an engaging conversation. So firstly, let's start off by letting Sam introduce himself, and himself and OpsTerra. So Sam, welcome, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Alex. It's like you said, we've been working together for quite some years at this point, so I'm happy to kind of get it plugged in with Conspicuous. So yeah, a little bit about me. Again, Sam Mueller, partner at OpsTerra. My background is primarily within the supply chain ERP technology focus, working with mid-sized um, enterprise businesses that are specializing within buying things, selling things, and shipping physical goods. So my background prior to at OpsTerra was working with a mid-size enterprise resource planning implementation company. I worked with manufacturers, supply chain organizations, kind of combining ERP technology with process consulting to kind of help increase their efficiencies. And a couple of years ago, that was acquired by a very large company that I think we'd all recognize. And then recently, we formed OpsTerra. We'll kind of get into hopefully the motivation was born, but we're a small team currently. We're focused on similar things, but we've kind of got a couple of differentiating factors that I'm excited to talk on. So happy to be here.
Oh, fantastic! Well, yeah, exactly. We go back many years, and I think it's fantastic. I think whenever anyone takes the leap and wants to set up their own business, it's to be highly encouraged. And I know we'll touch on it a little bit on that journey, because there's always motivating factors, and it's always interesting to speak to people who go on that journey, because there are highs and lows, as we all know. So but yes, so tell me, I mean, OpsTerra. So tell me about why you decided to found OpsTerra and what you feel OpsTerra offers to customers. What you're trying to achieve by using your skills in that sector.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the motivation for creating OpsTerra was twofold. One was in the consulting industry, it's often said that uh, as well as your services that you are contributing and selling to your customers and clients, you're selling yourselves as well. And from the beginning of OpsTerra, it's something we want to differentiate ourselves is the fact that one of our core values is that we're going to have good people throughout the entire life of the organization. Everyone we bring on board is going to kind of hit that threshold. So that was the kind of the first reason we started OpsTerra, because we wanted to always have good people contributing to the return on investment for the services that we do provide to our customers. And secondly, there's quite truly a ton of opportunity. I think last year alone, there were over 10,000 businesses created every single day within the United States, which is crazy because
Yeah,
ultimately,
that's nice.
most of those companies, well, hopefully, most of those companies will grow, and they're going to
Yeah.
need systems to help optimize their processes. And we really wanted to tap into that opportunity. One of the technology applications we work with the most is Microsoft Business Central. And kind of to double click on that opportunity, we're seeing a huge spike in adoption of that system for small to even
Mm.
medium enterprise organizations. So services, that's one of our factors we like to differentiate ourselves with.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're seeing Business Central continue to do very well and be very well invested in by Microsoft, and um, we were having a chat just before we went on air, and there seems to be a lot of activity going on in the Business Central space. So it's definitely a good space to be. It's often voted as number one ERP. I think it differentiates great. The fact that you obviously, I think nowadays you want to be very vertical focused. Focused on like a particular area, like you are, like supply chain. I think that's really key. I think that's what customers would love. That not only getting you as the founder and owner of the company on the project, but that you've got that kind of background in supply chain, because that's what people are going to want. They don't want necessarily out of the box solutions. They also want the person doing implementation to improve processes first, and then kind of then the technology speaks for itself, doesn't it? I don't know if that's something you found when you've been dealing with customers, but I think that's something that I've seen more and more over the last few years, is that the business processes come before the technology. And I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add to that and what you found in regards to that.
Yeah, no, the need for supply chain efficiency has been increasingly demanded for our services. For the clients and prospects we're working with at OpsTerra, there's a lot of people, just companies, let's say, that are needing to inventory materials or manufacture products. There's a lot of companies that are seeing the value in keeping up with the latest ERP enhancements and technologies that are being introduced from companies like Oracle and Microsoft. And they realize that if they do not tap into those new functionalities or the best of breed ERP technology, then it almost limits them in terms of how they can compete with their competitors within their industry. So I think that's, again, like you said, one of the driving factors as to how we are partnering with those organizations and those customers to keep them ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Yeah, I think that's the way to go, isn't it? And I think the partners we find, like I say, they're becoming vertical, and customers want to know that they're dealing with people that know their business, and that's the main thing. I think that's I know what you do very well. I know what OpsTerra is going to continue to do very well. So I think that's the main aim for this. And obviously you're a very young company, aren't you? I think you're only, when were you founded? Was it this year or last year, or when did you start business operations?
Yeah, technically this year. So there's obviously many challenges that we have going into starting a new company, but it's all exciting. I think a couple of the challenges we've got are, just generally marketing. But thankfully, we've got an awesome partner like you all at Conspicuous to help us get the name out there, and you guys have always been an amazing partner with that. So it's challenging. We know the unique value that we can add, but it's challenging oftentimes to have the companies know the values that we can provide. Additionally, one of the other challenges that we're seeing is a little bit of for companies that are on older ERPs, a little bit of concern around cloud migration. So when a company's on an old legacy on-premise ERP, there's oftentimes we'll be talking to them, and there's a concern around their data security. And that's something we've seen, and we've been able to, specifically within the Business Central space, we're able to kind of easily convey and discuss the pros of going to the cloud, like increased efficiency with upgrades. There's a lot of things you don't need to manage and a lot of overhead that you can rid of kind of on your expenses. But additionally, for people that do need to stick on premise, we've been able to combat that challenge and do installs of Business Central on premise as well if we do need to stick with local hosting. So that's just a couple of challenges we faced, but we're really excited for the future and the vision for OpsTerra.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, well, it's exciting. When you're, like I say, sort of 6 months into a business, you're probably going to find more challenges and successes, I imagine, from the first bit. But it's definitely, yeah. And I think marketing is definitely something that falls down most business owners' lists. At the start, it's all about getting business in, isn't it? So I know marketing falls down down the list quickly when you're trying to do other things. But it's so important to get your name out there, and that's, you know, thanks for the plug. I'll give you the £5 later for mentioning Conspicuous, but well, really we're just here to help and give a platform, and and also I see you wearing a fantastic OpsTerra t-shirt as well, which is more than I've done for Conspicuous. So so you're obviously
Yeah,
on brand.
there we go.
So you got that sorted. So you can wear that down the supermarkets, and you never know, you might win a business in the vegetable aisle. So but yeah, no, absolutely. I think yeah, exactly. No, again, there's so many challenges in the first bit. Getting your name out there is so important. But if you keep doing what you're doing, what you have done as a full-time employee, and now you're doing your own thing, then there's no doubt that companies are going to want to start to invest in you and get you successfully navigating their projects. And the on-prem thing is, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because I spoke to a partner the other day, and they said they had 40% of their customers were still on-prem. And I thought, oh, I thought everyone was on the cloud. The amount Microsoft keeps talking about it, I assumed everyone was on the cloud, but it's not actually the case. And actually, there seems to be a lot of companies still on-prem, and there's still GP everywhere. It's still quite a lot. There's still a lot of old nav systems around as well. So, which I'm guessing are just done quite well. I don't know. I mean, what are there any particular reasons that do people not want to migrate because they're scared of like data breaches, or what's the main reason that people find they want to stay on-prem, do you think?
Yeah, primarily data breaches, which is a totally valid concern. They want to hold their data close. Obviously,
Mm,
depending on the industry, there's a lot of instances where the data breach concern is around competitive data. So, some of their competitors don't want that. They don't want that information leaked out to anyone else in the industry. They've got
right.
specific IP or specific customer data that they don't want released. But again,
Mm,
the argument towards the cloud is, from OpsTerra's point of view, a pretty easy one. The pros from our side of things really outweigh the cons, or the potential cons. And I think Microsoft, specifically for Business Central, over the past couple of years, has done a really good job prioritizing the back end infrastructure to maintain that data security that we do need for our customers in the cloud.
mm,
So again, it's a common conversation when we do take customers to the cloud. But again, the argument and the, I guess, persuasion to get them to the cloud is an exciting one. I think something that we'll talk about maybe later in the podcast is just the general return on investment is a really awesome argument for going to the cloud. So that's something we're able to
mm.
bring into the conversation as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I guess the marketing strategy from a lot of companies at the moment is that to use all the AI technology, which I know is at early stages, and I know there's a lot of early adopters, but you kind of got to be on cloud to get full benefits of it. So over time, there will be a lot of competitive advantage for being on the cloud over on-prem, and that again, I know there's a lot of fear factor marketing, from Microsoft and various other companies going, you must be on the cloud because otherwise you can't use AI, which to a certain extent is fairly aggressive marketing. But I guess they're trying to get everyone on the cloud. But I think there's probably some truth in that, isn't there? That there's going to be difficulties for companies in 5 years' time who haven't got access to some of the tools that other, perhaps their competitors will have. And I think that might be something. I don't know if you found. Is anyone talking about that? When they're on-prem companies, do they care about AI, or are they interested in that kind of thing, or what are they saying to you?
I think it's definitely a hot topic at the moment. From the conversations we've had over the past couple of weeks with prospects, it's clear that people like directors of IT, vice presidents of IT. It's definitely a focus for them because they do see the benefit in the ways that it can impact their ERP, and that's something that OpsTerra has a vision for in the future. Is we really can appreciate the way that AI can help users within the ERP. If we take
Mm,
Copilot, for example, there was a Microsoft presentation the other day that basically said there's a reason it wants you to work alongside the AI, and it's not necessarily trying to remove people from the humans from the process. It's supposed to increase the productivity and efficiencies of those humans, specifically within ERP. So it's been really awesome to be able to implement and train users with the new Copilot features within Business Central with BC24, the newest release. So again, that's where OpsTerra, I think, is going to gain a little bit of differentiation within the market, is how much we're going to focus on that with our implementations. That being a core aspect of the way that we are going to implement these systems.
Yeah, well, I think that's great, isn't it? If you're embracing it, then your customers will embrace it too, and everyone's got to get on board with it eventually. So, and companies need someone to explain it to them, because it is. I mean, every day there seems to be about 500 AI tools coming out, and I can't keep track of them at all. I mean, I don't, it's you need someone to tell you this is what it means in Business Central. This is what it means in that. And I think it's so hard. There's so much noise around it, and it's hard to filter out what's actually going to be useful for a business. So I think that's brilliant that you've got that kind of AI first strategy as well. Okay, great. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, we got first 6 months, obviously various challenges. I'm looking ahead then to OpsTerra, and 12 months down the line, and hopefully you're on a beach somewhere. But let's say say you're 12 months down the line. What do the next 12 months look like? I'm guessing more marketing. Obviously, marketing is a never-ending game. But and obviously lots of projects. So what are you thinking? 12 months down the line, well, what does OpsTerra look like? What are we going to be talking about when you're next on the podcast in 12 months?
Yeah, definitely. Podcast again in 12 months, but we'll see. The focuses for us in the short term, 12-month period, are going to be just continually connecting with other partners within the partner ecosystem. The Microsoft partner ecosystem specifically is one that is crazy vast. And I think there's a lot of value in us collaborating rather than explicitly competing. So it's been fun in the past couple months to collaborate with other partners that have different niche skill sets to drive home that value for the customer, and kind of increase that return on investment that they're getting with an ERP implementation like Business Central. So that's something that we're going to continue to focus on. On top of the partner ecosystem, something that we're going to continually leverage over the next 12 months and for the foreseeable future is something called AppSource. And AppSource is, again, just a marketplace that of 6,000 plus additional applications that plug directly into Business Central that extend Business Central in its kind of out-of-box functionality. So that's something we're going to continue to capitalize on, and we'll focus on leveraging for our customers. That's been exciting to show our new Business Central customers that say, hey, we are specifically in this industry, and we're able to quickly show them 100 different applications that extend their Business Central functionality for their specific industry. And oftentimes the applications are very affordable. So it's not necessarily them tacking on a bunch of different licensing fees. It's really a small margin on top of the standard Business Central licensing and the spend that they're typically doing on Business Central. That's a couple of things we like to entertain for the next 12 months.
Oh yeah, I think that's amazing. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of potential, and I agree. That collaboration piece between the partners is particularly strong. I think in the Dynamics and Microsoft channel, there's such a good partner network, and everyone is very supportive. And I know there's a lot of collaboration on projects and a lot of knowledge sharing, and that's fantastic. And long may it continue, because you're right. Business Central is going to continue selling well, and therefore, the more collaboration you have, the more likely everyone's going to be successful. And then the customers are going to see it as well, aren't they? They're going to be winning because everyone's got the knowledge to do brilliant implementations. which is the idea. Doesn't always happen, but that's
Yep.
the idea, isn't it? So I think that's absolutely. And tell me, I mean, are there any specific customers you've had where you thought, you know, we could really say, right, they were in trouble, they were facing various business challenges, and where you really thought, right, I really was able to demonstrate how Business Central helped their business, and now their business is doing however much better because of what I suggested to them. Or if you've got any horror stories, you can say them as well. But
Yeah.
let's go with success stories first.
We'll save that until after the podcast is over, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, several different examples. Several different examples of kind of, I guess, success stories that we've been able to partner with our customers and then achieve a huge return on investment. That's something that we always take as we approach our customers is, hey, we get that ERP services from a company like OpsTerra is an expense to you. And we always see it as a very worthy conversation to always talk about, hey, for every dollar that we spend on services with OpsTerra, OpsTerra is going to look at that spend and see how we can multiply that in terms of your return on investment or our customers' return on investment. So that's how we go about implementing specific modules within BC or add-ons within BC. We say, hey, how is this going to impact your bottom line? And so you can continue to grow and differentiate yourself as a industry leader. So one example I'm thinking of is kind of let's say a service organization. I'm not going to name names, but this was a client that was using Business Central already, and we helped. They needed an easy way for their customers to create tickets for them. Previously, they were coming from a pretty old system in terms of how they managed their work orders or their service orders. So we worked alongside, identified those key metrics, and OpsTerra helped create a kind of a Power App to Power Application, allowed their customers to automatically create work orders for them inside Business Central. It removed a lot of different steps from their pre-existing process, sped up their time of service fulfillment, and saved them a lot of money, not only on the team members that were contributing to that process, but increased existing customer growth with their revenue. So that was an awesome way for us to win with them. And again, looking at ROI as the lens of, hey, what services do we want to provide? What's going to be the most valuable add-on or modification we do to your ERP so that everyone wins.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So I love, it's the right way to look at it. As you say, it's a cost, isn't it? You're in the same industry as us. We're a cost to a business, so you have to look at it as, right, for every dollar they spend with us, are we providing a return on investment on top of that? Otherwise, we're pointless. So yeah, you completely agree. You've got to be there as
Right.
as an advantage. You're either a time saver, a money maker. You're something that makes their business better. So 100%. I think that's what I know you've always done so brilliantly. I know OpsTerra do very well. I think what's nice about OpsTerra, again, just give a little bit of something that I think is quite different, is that you're not tied to one ERP. So although you're focused on a particular industry, I know that you do NetSuite as well, and I think again it's also a very, very good product, and I think that the fact that you're able to go in there not trying to pitch one specific product means that you can actually tailor it to what a business might need, and I think that that's really great. And I mean, it'd be nice. From your side of things, what, for example, does NetSuite do that Business Central can't? And I suppose vice versa as well. I'm not actually overly knowledgeable about it. So what is it that perhaps Business Central does better than NetSuite? And is there anything that NetSuite does better than Business Central? Is there anything about that I should know? Or
Yeah, no, the two different systems, Oracle NetSuite and Microsoft Business Central, can often be compared for prospects of similar size in terms of their annual revenue or their market
Okay.
share. So that's a pretty common question we do have to answer. I think they win and lose in certain areas, but ultimately they're both modifiable, so they both can be tailored to the specific organization. And I think both can meet most business needs across similar industries. I would say if we need to answer that question, NetSuite wins in the area of probably warehouse management. They have an amazing warehouse management system that comes with the system, a really good mobile application innate with NetSuite that really extends the customer's ability to manage their inventory and quickly fulfill orders. Where Business Central can win oftentimes is the ability to integrate to other systems. So oftentimes our customers are needing to send notifications automatically to their customers when things have been shipped. Integrating Business Central to other ERPs, oftentimes built on top of the Microsoft Azure infrastructure. That integration process is pretty smooth. Additionally, Business Central could win within the manufacturing space. The advanced manufacturing capabilities within Business Central, I think, is user friendly and can be tracked. Costing can be tracked at a very detailed level at the kind of the work center level. So they definitely win and lose in different areas when sized up against each other. But we do like them both. But again, like you said, we like to be supply chain consultants first. We like to go in, walk the warehouse, walk through their specific processes, not even mention technology yet, understand the business requirements, and then see, hey, afterwards, after possibly we've made changes to those physical processes, what can we partner with in terms of technology to increase their capabilities, increase their efficiencies, whether that be NetSuite, Business Central, whatever other system we can implement. Again, we're not tied to a specific system. So I think that's something that differentiates us and allows us to partner with our customers in a really successful way.
Okay. Cool. All right. Perfect. Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant. I think that's the approach you want. To be able to go to customer and not go leading in with the ERP, and then being able to just say, look, this is what we do. We know supply chain. We know inventory. We know warehousing. The system will follow. You tell me what you need, and then I'll work it out from there. So I think that's brilliant. And again, I would encourage anyone, I mean, in any industry, but in particular in the supply chain industry, because that's what Sam is majorly a specialist in, and what OpsTerra do so well, that if you are looking for a new ERP system, or you're looking for just a conversation, around perhaps what could be improved, then speak to OpsTerra, speak to Sam, and they will have a very open conversation with you and let you know what can be improved, or if anything, but they will really dig down on your business and do a really high level review of what you can do. I think that's fantastic, and that's what you've always done successfully, and that's why companies love you. So I think it's amazing. I think I think perhaps we should leave it there. We've been I think otherwise we'll talk for hours about supply chain and what amazing what you can do. But yeah, I think if anyone's listening or watching and has any issues with their supply chain ERP, speak to Sam, and he will solve any challenges that you may be having. That's the idea, anyway. So, but yes, and yeah, and if anyone wants to speak to me afterwards or speak to Sam afterwards, reach out. But yeah, Sam. It's been wonderful having you on. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast and telling us all about yourself and OpsTerra. And like I say, if anyone has any questions, reach out to Sam. We'll put some notes afterwards so that everyone can reach out to him, and we'll go from there. So yes, thanks very much,
Alex. Again, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to partner with Conspicuous in the future and continue to grow with you guys. So it's been amazing being here today. Appreciate it.
No worries. Well, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, we'll be back again in a few weeks.
Thanks.